All social media platforms care about is more engagement. They don't care if the engagement is positive or negative. The content in the video has to be extremely helpful. I'm leveraging trolls to increase the engagement, to lift up the valuable content so that it reaches, helps, and inspires more people. I have about 3 million followers. I reach about 40 million people per month on my phone. Selfie mode, I edit in free apps and I post them. For those of you that are scared, you're almost doing a disservice to not create videos putting your expertise out there, because what you have in your head is unique and it can help people. And there's always going to be trolls, so forget that. But if you just help one person, that's what matters.
All right, Austin, it is so good to have you here. We have been in so many places at the same time. We've crossed paths so many times in our industry. I feel like it's a little cute niche of video marketing people. When we look at the whole coaching industry, it's cool to see like people that we know what conferences we're going to and where we'll meet up and things like that. So I am so excited to have you here on the podcast today. Welcome, 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 Austin Armstrong. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. It's been, like you were saying, like it's such a small community, but there's so many great people.
Yeah.
When we first connected back at Video Marketing World so many years ago, I think I told you like the following year, but like it still stuck with me. Like I still go to Campisi's every time I'm in Dallas because of your speech, by the way.
It's so crazy that you said that. First of all, let's go back to that moment a little bit. You were done speaking and I was looking at you like, whoa, Austin, that was amazing. Like we hadn't connected yet, right? So I'm looking at you on stage like, this guy is insane. Like, look at him present. Like, I was in awe. And then for you to come tell me like, oh my gosh, like your speech made such a big impact on me the year before. And I go to Campisi's every time I come to Dallas. And because I gave a speech about my favorite pizza place. And so that in itself, it's so beautiful that we can see each other, celebrate each other, and just how impactful the things that we're talking about are, even from your speech. Like I loved learning like how much you charged for TicTok and, things that you broke down in that speech stood out to me so much. And so you sharing that with me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. But of course, I want to jump into asking you a few questions just about your journey. Like, can you tell us like how you got started in this whole video space? I know that I have an idea of you starting with, is it addiction centers or?
Yeah. So I'll scale it all the way back and then I'll pull it forward.
Yes.
So I got started doing social media marketing 19 years ago. When I was about 14 years old on MySpace. I got pulled into it. I saw this small collection of people that were growing their accounts and promoting things in the like message board feature there. And I have no idea why, but I wanted to be in that community. And I got in that community. And so fast forward to 10 years ago is where I started my professional video marketing career. So I started as an unpaid intern at a video marketing agency that specialized in the behavioral health space, doing video marketing with drug and alcohol treatment centers, interviewing psychologists and therapists and people that are inherently not brave on video. And so we had to figure out like how to work with that population because they have life-changing, life-saving information in their heads. But how do you get that out of them in a way that resonates with people online and fits those best practices of what we know to get engagement and get a following that translates to leads and sales? And I just was captivated by that entire process and really went from being a unpaid intern to a paid intern to a part-time employee to a full-time employee. My boss was very much my mentor. And so that led me to ultimately being head of digital marketing at several drug and alcohol treatment centers. And then 5 years ago, I started my first company, which is a social media marketing agency with a specialty in short form organic video. And my boss became my business partner. And so it's been an awesome journey.
I love that.
Yeah.
First of all, I love how you climbed. Whoa. You know, like I think I read that on Facebook. Like you shared it that, just your journey of going from intern, unpaid intern, all the way up to, that's insane. And then to know that he invested in, all that you're doing, that is mind blowing. Like, whoa. And PS, shout out to all the MySpace people if you're listening. Hello. Okay, so first of all, you shared about your agency, and I know when I first found you, you were in the space of TikTok. So I don't think you had started Syllabi just yet, which we will talk about. But you were on TikTok, and you were killing it, right? Like, are you still focused on TikTok as much as you were before? That's one of my questions that I want to know. Like, before we jump in.
So I have such a love hate relationship with TikTok because they've banned me 4 times,
I remember
and
that.
I got it back every time except for this most recent time. And so I got up to about 900,000 followers on there, scaled my business off of TikTok. It launched my speaking career. It launched everything that I have. But they just don't like my content for some reason.
Mm,
And so I'm still active on there. I'm back up to about 120 something thousand. But it's not my primary platform anymore. I mean, the first time that I got banned, I needed to figure, I had that moment like, I can't put all my eggs in one basket. And I also just didn't want, like, this is a little ego at play, I guess, but I didn't want to just be the TikTok guy because TikTok
mm,
was seen as sort of the easiest platform to, this is so
yeah.
silly, but TikTok is sort of the easiest platform to grow on. And me and my ego was like, no, I want to be a respected digital marketer across the board.
Which you are, by the way, and were then you were then, So, yeah,
It's
but
just,
I get it. I
we're,
get it.
we're our own biggest critics, right?
Literally.
And so I wanted to figure out all of the other platforms. I would say Facebook for the last year and change, year and a half maybe, has been my main platform. And it's not the like sexiest newest platform, right? But it's where I get the most reach, the most engagement, the most leads. It's where I get the most everything across the board. I'm very active on every other platform. I'm not like TikTok has kind of become a little passive for me,
Mm,
but I shift my attention based on where I'm getting attention.
yeah.
And so it might go back to TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't predict the future, but right now I'm focused on the other platforms where I'm getting way more engagement, and they actually want me. I never have any problem with any of my content on any other platform except for
Mm.
TikTok. So
That
love
makes
hate.
sense. Yeah, love hate. I get it. Okay, so I mean that was really juicy, and I love. There are so many nuggets in what you shared there. First of all, that you became multi-platform, and now you're able to kind of test and see what's working best where, kind of thing. And you're so dynamic on Facebook. So at that time I wasn't big on like TikTok, using TikTok, or even like perusing TikTok. And so I really like connected with you on Facebook. Like, and I feel like on Facebook, because I follow you on Instagram as well. So Instagram, I see your content, but on Facebook, there's just a deeper connection with you. You're able to type like little blurbs. You're able to share what you're doing. You're so active on there. I'm like, is Austin five people? Like, I need to know. So I love your presence on Facebook. So if you guys are listening, definitely, I would say yes, follow Austin on Facebook because it's such a range of content that you share there. And I'm always like interested. So, but we can't, deny TikTok maybe started it all. So I want to know from you, like, what made you even get on TikTok? Like,
Yeah, so the story is I had started my agency. It was a side gig, side hustle at the time, and I was still working at a drug and alcohol treatment center as my full-time job. And I got fired. And this was, I think, June or July of 2020. So we were 6 months into COVID, right, with no sign of normalcy in the world. And a little bit about me, I don't have a college degree. So I went that internship route that I said. And so, I was faced with a tough decision. Like, do I bet on myself and go all in on my agency, or do I try and find a job in the middle of the pandemic with no college degree?
Right.
My path has been kind of like, as I think it's cool, but like, I, I've never really applied even for other like marketing jobs. It's all sort of been through sister companies and relationship companies and whatnot. And so we had a little bit of money in the bank. I had like a 2 month runway
Mhm.
of revenue from the company to pay myself my full salary. And long story short, I decided to go all in. Talked to my wife, talked to my
Mm.
business partner, decided to go all in on the agency. And that was right around when TikTok was starting to rise,
Mhm.
about 5 years ago. And I just decided to go all in on that platform for whatever reason. I had uh, attended a webinar from Rachel Peterson, who is an awesome
Mhm. Yes.
legend in the space. Love Rachel.
She's
Uh,
amazing.
and like that webinar was like a aha moment for me of like, because I was on TikTok, I was creating all this content, but it was random. It was like cat video trend, digital marketing tip. And so like how she explained it was like treated as a search engine, which like,
Mhm.
whoa, 5 years ago, nobody was talking about TikTok as a search engine. And I've done SEO for a long time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Just create content around the questions that your customers are asking for. And so I did that. I gave myself an ultimatum even. And I said, like, I'm going to do only videos on my business and the value that I can bring for 30 days straight. And if I see no noticeable traction, maybe this is not for me.
Yeah.
A funny thing happens when you hone in, give yourself a deadline.
Mm.
You often start to see results, and that's exactly what happened. So I started to see results and early traction on TikTok. It was a video popped, led to doing multiple video responses, and I was starting to get leads and sales come in, and the rest is history over the last
History,
4.5 years.
literally. Wow. Let's just so much gold in there. First of all, just you deciding that decision to go all in is such a game changer, right? And the pressure of having 2 months runway and knowing I need a change within this time. And I feel like that sets off a trigger of let me look for all the solutions that are going to allow me to get what I desire, in that time. Two, the deadline and you deciding, I'm just going to do 30 days of this. I'm going to try. I have nothing to lose literally, but a month of my salary, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just try it. And I think so many people give up on day 7 or 8
Mhm.
and they
100%.
don't know what can happen on the other side. There's so much gold in what you're sharing. And then on top of that, a video popped off and you were able to cater to what people were asking, the questions that they had, and start creating like a trail of information based on that. And usually when we serve one person, we serve all the people who want to know all the things. And there's so much power in like what you're saying and sharing. I literally have goosebumps because there's just a pivotal moment in, our lives that we do something, one action, one decision, something, and it just triggers off everything. And look at how much your life has changed in that time. That's wild, Austin.
Yeah, I know. Looking back, it has been quite the journey, and I feel like I still feel like I'm just getting started, which is
I
either a good or bad thing. I don't know, but
yes.
it's amazing how fast your life can change when you take action and you have
Yeah.
direction.
That is wild. Do you remember what video went viral? Like what was that like? Like a video finally going viral, like the traction, like walk me
Yeah.
through like what that felt like.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it was an SEO video about, it's just so nerdy. Like this is what, so it was how to compress your images to
Mm.
reduce the file size so that your website would load faster, and how to add location specific metadata on that image to increase local SEO. And like inherently, we don't think that that would be like a viral video on TikTok, but it was. And
Wow.
so we got I think a couple 100,000 views, and it was the first one to go, and it was awesome. And then, like you said, like this is the perfect analogy, like because I come from an SEO brain, like video responses are basically backlinks for videos that link directly into that viral video for additional context and just additional views. And so what I did, there's a million questions that came in on that video. And I spent the next 2 days cranking out like 100 video responses to every single person. And all of them are directly linked to that initial viral video, which kept fueling that viral video. And I was building trust and rapport with the audience along the way. And that really just skyrocketed everything.
Wow, that's insane. I'm like, wait, I have an old TikTok video that has a few, responses on it. Should I go, get in there and
It can resurge, yeah, yeah. I mean, because if
Ooh,
one of those responses does exceptionally well,
you're so right.
that just, sends a bunch of people. Like one of those video responses will get like 10,000, 20,000 views, and a percentage of them want to check out the original context video, and then all of that engagement on the original context video can cause it to pop off again.
That is so good. You just gave me a gem there. I'm gonna I'm gonna commit to my 30 days.
Yeah,
Work
yeah,
on
do it.
that is so amazing. So now I have another question that kind of links to something that you said. So that video that you made, it was based on like useful websites. And now that's kind of what you have been creating. Not now, but it's what you've been creating, and it's what prompted, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, your company now, Syllabi, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. So is it that you were always creating useful website videos, or did it happen because this video went viral and now let me double down on this strategy?
So a couple things. Let me dissect. So when I started the agency, I always told my staff and always had this sort of thought process that we are not just an agency, we are a predictable system of growth that happens to be at the stage of life that we call ourselves an agency. And so I wanted to play around with that in my head and see what that eventually became. As I was creating content on TikTok and all these other platforms, the useful websites was a top of the funnel content strategy. Most of the websites that I was sharing were specifically for business owners, entrepreneurs, or aspiring business owners or entrepreneurs, but it's broad enough that it's like viral in nature oriented content, bring them in, and then you have your other oriented content throughout. At some point, I had figured out a nuanced style that really worked for me, which is like sort of the silly like sketch style of talking to myself, which really popped. Like that's when I got 10. That's when I was starting to get tens of millions of views, and really took everything to the next level. So that led to becoming an affiliate marketer. So a lot of the websites that I was promoting, I was an affiliate for to drive that revenue from. And so I got to the point where I'm like, why am I doing this for 20% commissions when I can own the company and get 100% ownership? Now, along the lines of with Socialty Pro, the agency, and that thought process, I was interested in AI tools because I'm like a sci-fi nerd. I love science fiction, and so like I had started to see like Dolly One come out, and Midjourney, and all of these early AI tools, and it's like, whoa, it's here, sci-fi, like crazy. And so it was an easy pivot for me to go from useful websites to useful AI websites because these were starting to come out. And it just so now 2 years ago, it sort of just all clicked together. I can take our repeatable process at a scaled down level of what an agency does and the problems that an agency helps a business owner overcome. And with software and AI, I can streamline that entire process for 100 times cheaper for the business owner. And that's where the idea of Syllabi really came. It originally started actually as like the original MVP was like, how do we create a software that takes the most tedious task for me off my plate? And that was developing content strategies for businesses. And so it would take me, because I put a lot of work in developing a content strategy for a business after we do like an onboarding call. And so I was like, how do I automate this? How do I use AI and like pull in like TikTok data and all this stuff? And I got to a point where like, wow, we can just tack on some of these things. And like, it ties back into my whole mission of social media has changed my life. And I just want to provide the tips, tools, and strategies to change other people's lives with it as well. And so it all just kind of came together. And that's really the origin story of Syllabi.
That's amazing. And I feel like you've created something that, and I told you this in our conversation earlier, like you're so ahead of everything. Now, what I really love is that it was birthed from your wanting to help, but also I love how you followed the trail of what you're interested in. That's really
Oh yeah.
powerful. Yeah. A lot of us ignore that intuition. So I love that. I love that. I'd like to ask, like, which platform do you feel like you saw the most return from, as in like people using the affiliate links that you were sharing, or even with Syllabi now, like maybe where you get the most traction or leads? Well, you shared Facebook, but
Well, it's changed a lot. I mean, I had a lot of when I had 900,000 followers on TikTok. That was definitely a significant traffic driver because I just had so much equity on that platform from creating thousands of videos over the course of 5 years, 4.5 years. Facebook is still my top traffic driver now, and has been for the past year and a half. Instagram is really good because I started about 6, 7 months ago. I started using manyChat
yes,
automations,
I was going to ask that.
and that
Yes.
is a game changer. Oh my goodness, manyChat automations is a blessing.
Yeah,
But
because it's no longer the link in the bio, right? Because I remember when you used to say that in your content. Now you
yeah,
don't have to say that anymore. They can literally comment, which increases engagement on the post, which just,
manychat's a lifesaver. So for anyone, just a quick overview if you haven't
yeah.
used manychat, it basically is a meta approved platform. So it's not like a crazy third party tool. Like it is an approved platform by them. But you can set up trigger words. So if you've ever seen a video where someone's like, comment yes below and I'll DM you a link, that's ManyChat. So
Yeah.
what it does is it automates this trigger. So anytime somebody leaves a specific trigger word, you can the ManyChat, the automation can respond to that comment like, awesome, just sent you the link, check your DM. And then it sends that link and it tracks the whole process for analytics as well. And so like rather than responding to a thousand comments, it just sends 1,000 DMs
It's
for
so
me.
cool. Just
Yeah,
imagine. It's definitely game changing for sure. It's just beautiful how we're getting so many tools that just make the process so much more simple. Imagine sending 1,000 DMs manually. Like,
crazy. It would take forever.
okay, so I also want to ask, like, how long did it take you to find that content style that worked for you versus like, or did you try different things before finding that content style, which is hilarious, by the way. I love it. It's hilarious, but it's also like such a signature. So when I see someone, sitting sideways like you would be like, I know that's Austin. Let me hear what he has to say, kind of thing. It's so signature, and I love unique stuff. So seeing that is so cool. But yeah, how much did it take to get to that point? Did you do that right away? Like, I'd love to know.
Yeah, that was like 3 years in. So I was
Mm,
constantly like everybody's early videos suck, right? You just try and like improve
everybody,
a
yes.
little bit little by little, and so like my first like videos, like the camera quality's trash, and like The opening hooks are trash, but the information was pretty valuable. I think what always worked for me too is kind of the sort of like lo-fi, down to earth style of content creation as well. Like when it's not really fancy editing or anything, and I still don't like how I create content is so like I don't even put a tripod. I literally will put my phone like up on my laptop screen on selfie mode, and I have a $15 ring light, and I pivot my chair and change my shirt, and like
It's
that's all I
so
do. Like I don't
hilarious.
on mic. I don't do anything. And I hold my phone up to like share a useful website. I don't screen record it, and there's no like fancy animations. So like anybody can create content. But like I was just doing this, and I like to study other people's content, even in different niches.
Yeah.
Well, because it's just a good idea to study what's working. Maybe it doesn't apply to you, but maybe there's something there that you can test. And so, like, I'm not the first person ever to share a useful website, and I wasn't the first person to have that like talking to yourself conversation. But that conversation style of the creator that's sharing valuable information to the viewer, the opposite person, was a style that was so popular. Erica Kohlberg is who like really I think, had the first early growth on this. She's like an attorney, superwoman, amazing copy or patent attorney or copyright attorney or
Wow.
something like that. And so she had this style. And so I took that style and I took my useful website videos that I was creating and I combined them. And I was probably the first person to combine those two things
Mm.
of and it created something that was relatable. Like it's a proven winning style, but it's fresh because there's a bunch of people creating AI websites, but nobody was doing it this way. And it inserted like a little like quirky comedy and like almost borderline self-deprecating humor. Uh,
Or your
and so
folders
yeah, my
of
folders.
nudes that you would have like on the desktop.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
we can get into
hilarious.
some psychological hacks if you want, but yeah, I mean and it didn't even work the first time. So it,
Right.
back to it. So like I did like I think two videos that way, and they did fine, but it wasn't like anything meaningful. And then like a couple months later, I'm like I think there's something here. I still think there's something here.
Mm.
And I didn't even re-record. I just downloaded an old like the first one and reposted that video, and
Mm.
it exploded. I think on TikTok it did 12 million views,
Oh,
and on YouTube it did over 20 million views. That
wow.
one video, and I was like, "Whoa, this is like now this like as any good marketer does, test until something clicks, and then go all in, go deep on that thing." And
Yeah.
so like I just that's now the content that I make, and I've been doing it for like 2 years in that style, and it hasn't really slowed down, so I keep doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so I love that you shared like the time frame that you've been doing it. And so that brings me to a good question as a creative because I struggle with my creativity versus marketing, right? Like there's always a clash there of like,
Yep.
ooh, we got business goals, but ooh, I want to play, you know.
Yep.
And I always wonder, does Austin ever get bored of creating the same type of content? Or is it that you're getting the results that you need, so that pushes any need for creativity out of the window?
I mean, I have fun with it, so like I enjoy it, and it's become a habit at this point. I celebrate every win. That's something that I just have built my own intrinsic motivation style, where like every milestone, I celebrate it
Yeah,
because you
of
can't expect
course.
external motivation. You have to be your biggest cheerleader,
That
in
part.
my opinion. And so that keeps me motivated. Like I would probably get more bored if the results weren't there, but because it's like dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit for the last 2 years straight, I haven't
That's
burned
so
out or got
good.
bored on it yet. I enjoy the process. So.
That's so good. And also you are very creative. Like you get to be creative in other aspects of Syllabi in itself is such it had to be a labor of love because Yeah. There's
Yeah.
so much creativity and thought going into something like that. I want to kind of bridge that and ask you like, okay, so you were doing useful websites, you everything was going viral, you were doing affiliates, and now you decide, wait, all this traffic could be mine. So, what was the thought process of now not creating useful websites content, which I think you still do because sometimes I see it still.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
integrating like syllabi marketing, like what was that like? Because sometimes it's easier for us to sell other people's stuff, but now, did you feel any pressure of now this is my thing that I'm starting to put out there or market? Like, was there a difference in like your feeling, or was it like, man, this is gonna be so easy because they're already eating up the useful website, so this is just another useful website? What was your thought process?
Exactly. That last thing that you said. So this is going to maybe sound counterintuitive, but by openly promoting competitors and just the entire landscape of things, I still build that trust and rapport. And so I heavily, like almost every video, I work syllabi into it. Like if you stack these three websites together, and I'm talking like competitors, or like five websites, and most of my content is still those websites. So you're not wrong. Like that's 90% of the content that I create is useful websites, and oftentimes they're competitors, and that's okay.
I love that.
Because I think I would get bored, maybe everybody else too, if every single video was exclusively about syllabi. And I already see those
Mm-hmm.
comments on YouTube a little bit. But so it was an easy pivot. I mean, because I've built, trust and rapport online from sharing AI tools and built a personal brand in that space. As soon as it was kind of my thesis on it of like, a lot of people with startups, they have an idea, they maybe develop a little bit of an MVP or the go-to-market strategy or anything, and then they take that and pitch venture capitalists to get the money so they can further build it out, and then later on figure out marketing and really figure out the go-to-market strategy. And I was like, well, what if I built? I have this personal brand around the
Yes.
tool space. Like I built the audience before I built the tool. And so I kind of flipped it on its head. And so as soon as like you build so much trust, and I'm a big Gary Vee fan of like jab, 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 right hook. Like most of my content, I just give my best information away for free. I share what I discover online, take it or leave it. And so as soon as I attached my personal brand on this, and we built it in public the way along. So like we're taking people along the journey of like, here's this crazy idea. What features would you like to see? And then we roll out like sneak peeks of what we're working on, talking about the ideas and the problems that this tool is going to help resolve. And as soon as we launched, it worked like crazy. It just instant traction because I had built up this audience. I built trust online. I was building it in public. That I brought them along the journey. And so it was a really easy pivot to go from promoting other tools to like heavily launching and sneaking in my tool within just the regular content.
When I say I love that, I am so serious because it just also attests to the power of a personal brand. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of companies start out on the other side, like you were saying, where they have this great idea, they want to build this thing, but they have no idea how to market it. They don't know exactly who they're speaking to. And the fact that you were able to take people along the journey, it's kind of like they built Syllabi.
Mhm.
That in itself is an investment, even before it becomes a monetary investment.
Yeah.
I'm loving this, Austin.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for being
mean,
so forthcoming and sharing all of this with us. I don't know if anyone ever asks you like the kinds of questions that I'm thinking about,
they're
but
very good.
why, thank you. Okay, so tell me, I mean, even from your story and what you've been sharing, I want to talk a little bit more about like why you feel video is so important now. I mean, we've heard the amazing things that it's done for you, but have you seen it change anybody else's life?
Oh, so many. I mean, I mentioned the behavioral health space, and we've had so many amazing clients, and not just that space. Many different industries, nonprofits, We've helped amazing nonprofits and doctors. There's no better way to build trust in your expertise than video. One of our early, like back at the 10 years ago at the agency I worked for before we started everything, it was kind of our like pitch and thesis. Like before video on social media, how therapists and a lot of business owners got their clients was either word of mouth, like a Psychology Today online listing, Google ads, newspaper ads, like all of these things. And it causes a lot of patient drop offs. Like therapists have like had a 50% like patient drop off because they didn't vibe with the therapist. It wasn't a good communication style. You didn't know exactly what their specialty was in, right? And so with video, you can communicate your tone of voice, your personality, your expertise, your passion comes across in video. And so it resonates so much more with people that way. And you build, like, people will become fans, but they because of the videos and how much it specifically resonates with the specific problem that they're going through, which, guess what, so many other people are going through the same problems, right? They think you are the answer to all of their questions, and so they're much more likely to reach out to you for help. And so you're almost like, for those of you that are scared, you're I've always said this, and maybe this is a little harsh, but sometimes we need a kick in the butt. You're almost doing a disservice to not create videos putting your expertise out there, because what you have in your head is unique and it can help people. And there's always going to be trolls, so forget that. But if you just help one person, that's what matters, right? And so just get on camera. There's no
I
better way to
agree.
communicate.
Yes, it's such a powerful tool. Like, you know, I know we come from a world where there are other mediums, and even if you are like a podcaster or an author, or you write, like, even combining two mediums, I feel like builds trust even faster. So you see me online, but if you listen to me on the back end, I know you have a podcast as well. I don't know if you still have it. Not too
Mhm.
sure. But okay,
I
there
do.
you go. So that's you, which I do want to ask also. Like, I thought about, so you had short form content going out, which is kind of like awareness content. What was your like strategy for like converting those people into like raving fans or like, customers? Like, or is it just that your top of funnel content just worked well to push people through the entire process?
Yeah, I think you can actually have a funnel of content. So you can go, like, a lot of people think of short form as top of funnel, but you can develop a content strategy
For
where it is
sure.
top of funnel. It's awareness consideration stage and it's conversion stage. And so examples of that might be, like useful AI tools for business owners and entrepreneurs. Very top of funnel, right? Brings them in. They see the content, they like the content, they engage with the content, they follow me, they enter my ecosystem. Then I might do content like answering specific questions for specific use cases, or here is how, or going deep on one particular topic. Like, here is an actionable thing that you can do for, or how to, optimize your website so it loads faster, and how to A/B test the hero section on your website so it can convert more leads. Just giving incredible value. So I'm building trust and rapport online. And then conversion oriented content. I love leaning into FOMO a little bit. So, like, I'm taking on 5 SEO clients right now. If you've seen my videos, if they've helped you, I'd love to have a chat with you. You click the link in my bio, schedule a free 15-minute call, see if we're the right fit, see if we can help you work on all of these things that you've just seen in all of these other videos. And then that link in the bio, you can do funnel. I'm a big email funnel fan. So, like, one of the big ways that I built a large email list was paying attention to what the audience wanted for an opt-in, and they wanted a list of all
I
of the use.
remember. Yes.
So, yeah,
Which
so I was
was
like,
juicy, right? Like, and easy, literally.
yeah,
And the beauty of that is I'm sure they were affiliate links. So you're still
of course.
getting paid. If hello, hello.
So
I love it.
that funnel was awesome.
Yeah.
And so that was, here's a list of 150 AI tools that I share. Just enter your email address. And so they entered their email address, get added into an automated drip campaign sequence. As soon as they click on submit email, it redirects them to a course page where I
Awesome.
teach them my affiliate marketing funnel. So it's like very meta. So like the reason you opted in, do you want to see how to recreate this for yourself? Buy my $99 course. Or if you don't want it, just click the link to get instant access to the sheet. It's just a read-only Google spreadsheet. The first 50 links on that Google sheet, name of tool, description, affiliate link. So the first 50 are like affiliate links. So yeah, it drives affiliate revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Email campaign every day sends out a tutorial on each individual website, a deep dive. Like here's an AI tool that helps you with social media marketing. Here's 3 benefits and takeaways. Here's some use cases for you. Here's some insider tips and hacks. If you want to sign up, try it for a free trial. Here's my affiliate link. I hope it helps you. P.S. If you want us to do marketing for you,
Mm.
schedule a call with my agency here. And so that whole funnel
Mm.
worked like crazy.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for being so generous again for like breaking it down for us. That's so,
Sure.
so, so helpful. I'm sure there are people that are listening that can see the connection between your activities on the front end and your back end activities and bottom line. So of course, I want to jump into Syllabi a little bit. Like when I saw you building, and I was like, this is genius. And then I got to the part of, wait, you can duplicate me? And that made me nervous. Like, wait, as in, if you don't like being on camera, and we'll leave the website down below and all of Austin's amazing links down below so that you guys can get access to it and see everything, all the magic we've been raving about in this episode. But tell me about you catering to people who don't like being on camera.
So yeah, there's a lot of problems that Syllabi tries to solve. I basically wanted to eliminate every excuse for you not to create videos. So yeah, I mean, one of the big problems is people don't like being on camera. Well, okay, now there's AI solutions so that you don't need to be on camera, but you can still come across on video. And there's 2 main ways to do this. There are talking photos, which are in Syllabi. So you can upload a headshot of yourself, and you can clone your voice in Syllabi, and it'll generate like a video script on a topic for you, and then it animates your headshot, so your head and your mouth and your eyes are
Mm.
moving. So it reads that script in your voice, and so that's one way. The other way is actually like so we have the term real clone trademarked actually, but they're
Oh,
basically like
smart.
deep fakes. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's a negative connotation to deep fake, as there maybe ethically, morally should be. There's some downside to that. I am on the good side of AI. I think it's a productivity tool, not a full-on replacement. It helps you out. Use it to the extent to help you save you time, etc. But we can actually create a real clone of you that moves like you, has your body mannerisms, and so that feeds into the whole system. So you can find the topics that your clients are searching for online that are trending, write a video script around it, and then create the video with your AI clone that looks like you, moves like you, sounds like you to create the video. And then we have a video editor in there, and you can directly schedule and publish it to your social media accounts and schedule it out and organize all of your content. We are very transparent and ethical with consent. So you have to submit consent to create this clone, both on the voice and of your avatar as well. And you can only do it of yourself. You can't create a clone of another person because that is ethically weird. And like that's one thing that just sort of scares the crap out of me with like politics. And we're already seeing some of that online and very influential people. I digress. But yeah, consent and ethical AI is a very important thing as we're still in the Wild West here. I'm waiting to like consolidate it all and write it up. But we've probably done one of the largest AI deepfake case studies ever. I have 5 different deepfake versions of myself, and we've posted, I think, about 1,500 videos in different industries on different accounts across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, exclusively with my deepfakes, to test the performance of them. So it's interesting, and I am really stress testing this technology.
That makes me feel so much better. Like so many things that you said, because that was the first thing that I was thinking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a woman of color. Like, it's already hard for us to get paid in some industries or in most industries. Like, what if, like, now you can duplicate my essence, my everything, and not even care to pay me because now you have all of that, And so even going on the website, I love how everything you said is here on the website. So that, like, I felt myself like, like, oh, okay. Like, you're taking my privacy seriously. So not anyone could come on and do that.
Yeah.
And then you just sharing transparently how important that is to you personally makes me feel much better about, like, my data and my image and likeness, and knowing that anyone can't log on to Syllaby and just make anyone else.
No, absolutely not. And honestly, like any platform that does, like, I don't think any platform does allow that, to be honest. Any public facing ones, like if you train, this is very difficult and expensive technologies.
Yeah.
It's easier. But most public facing avatar companies don't allow it. And I don't think that they should. I don't
Well,
think
that's good. That's good. Because the average consumer, we don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that information, but because you're in the industry, that they don't allow it. So that's really good to know. And I'm sure that a lot of people listening will feel more comfortable doing it now, hearing that, because that's really important. Okay. I'm so excited, Austin. We covered so much. I want to ask you, like, what was your first video? Do you remember what your first video was? The first time you were on camera? Like, do you remember at all what that was?
My first video, like, ever?
Or, yeah, like, for socials, like front facing, like, oh, I'm going to release this. The trolls are coming. No one watches. That kind of thing. Like, what was your thought process, feelings? Like, what did that feel like? Or do you even remember?
Well, it would be very early on YouTube, with the company was called Therapy Cable. So that was the agency that specialized in the behavioral health space. We had a series on there called Hike Talk, where we would go out and do hikes and talk about mental health topics and relationship topics. Sort of a vlog for like Gen Z and millennials. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Millennials in their 20s at the time. So probably just being open about mental health in men and relationship struggles. Yeah, so that was a series in that agency. Probably that. Probably those were the really early on.
I love that.
Yeah, as far as business stuff, and then I started doing, like, 7-8 years ago, I started doing seminars for professionals, free seminars. This was my long play to become a public speaker because I wanted to be professional. So I started with free seminars, and we filmed those and put those up on YouTube. So those are like business oriented sessions, so stuff like that. I think.
I love that. Here's what I love. There are professionals listening right now. They probably aren't, like, they know they should be on camera at some point because of their goals and the things they want to accomplish. But even, like, the importance of video and building a personal brand, even if you are, you have a job, you're in corporate, you're a professional, like, what do you feel like? Like, do you feel like that was something that you could have leveraged as you continued to grow? Do you feel like that's a skill that professionals should have? Because sometimes they look at it like, I only need to be on video if I'm an influencer or a creator. What's your thoughts there?
I think it's just a great skill to build your comfort level to talk to other people as well, and practice your networking. I think everybody should, like, because anybody can, even if you're in corporate and maybe you're not allowed to create content around your business. Everybody has passions, everybody has interests, and everybody has hobbies. It's a great creative outlet. And so, like, if you are in, corporate finance, and but that doesn't excite you, but at home you're a baker, you love to bake pies, make some videos of you baking some pies. It's fun, learn the process, have it as a creative outlet. Video, getting comfortable on camera has done nothing for me but build my confidence
Mm.
over the years, make me a better communicator, understand the complexity of this industry. Because, like, people don't know, people, like, I hate it's like a pet peeve when somebody says, like, get a real job, you're a content creator. Like, you
Trust
have
me.
no idea what goes into it.
That triggers the heck out of me.
No idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Austin, and as we wrap things up, what does being brave on video look like for you in the next 3 to 5 years?
uh, Consistently just testing and stepping out of my comfort zone. Like, becoming a SaaS founder, a startup founder, was not something I've ever done in my life. And so just being willing to step out of my comfort zone and try that, and creating videos around the entire journey and the process, and documenting along the way, trying new things. Like, I might have new hobbies that pop up. Like, I had like a ASMR drum channel for a little bit. I reviewed hot sauce for a while. I had a hot sauce channel because I love hot sauce. I'm obsessed with that. Um, all kinds of different hobbies. Like, I just like to create. I'm a content creator, but
Yeah.
I love to step out of my comfort zone, and try new things, and not be afraid of failing. That's a big part of it as well. And just, recognizing that you care more than anybody else,
Hmm.
being okay that there are trolls. We didn't really get into this, but, like, I love leveraging the trolls because I just
Oh,
know.
let's talk about it, because then I still have another question that comes into what you're saying, because I did not
Yeah.
know you were as creative as you're saying. Well, now I know because of what you're sharing about, like, other channels and outlets. So I want to ask about that. But let's dive into the trolls, because I think this is something that people are petrified of. So I want to hear how you leverage this, because
Yeah, so I fully recognize that these comments affect everybody differently, um, and they can be hurtful sometimes. But
yeah,
most of the time, it comes from username 369472 with no profile picture,
literally.
no content on their page. They don't even have, like, a profile on any platform. And so, like, it's just a troll. Also, sometimes they're literally bots. Like, sometimes literally a
Wow,
non-human is leaving a hateful comment.
did
So
not
keep
know
that
that.
in mind. Realize that when they leave a hateful comment, it more often than not comes from a place of their own personal insecurity than it is as a direct attack on you, because you are putting yourself out there. You are doing what they are not comfortable doing. So it's much easier for them to leave a hateful comment. I promise you, nobody gives a crap if your skin looks bad that day, your hair's a little messy, you didn't get a haircut that long, or you haven't gotten a haircut recently. Nobody cares. Only you.
Literally.
So get
Literally.
out of your own way. And so I know and understand that. And even more, like, technically, I know that all social media platforms care about is more engagement. They don't care if the engagement is positive or negative.
Yes.
Negative engagement is much easier to get. And I always bring up, I love this analogy of, like, think about it, like, when you leave a review on a restaurant, it could be average service. The meal was fine. It's base level expectation. Are you going to rush to Google reviews or Yelp to leave a review? No, because it was the medium expectation. It was what, but as soon as you get a rude server, bad service, a hair in your food, the food takes too long, they don't, whatever, you're much quicker to assert your ego and leave that 1-star review because you feel that you have power.
Right.
Online, every time you make a spelling error or say something incorrect, the grammar police love to correct your grammar. I'm sure this has happened to everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Or if you leave something silly, like I plant these folders, which we'll talk about below my folders, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's that thing? Did you leave that out?" I've gotten text messages from somewhat influential people like, "Bro, I'm telling you this as a friend. I think you might have left this folder in there on accident on your video. You might want to delete it."
That's your real friends, though. At least they
No,
messaged you. They didn't know it was planted, but because
yeah.
let me tell y'all, Austin. So what Austin is referring to is in the middle of his videos when he's showing his websites, like he'll have a folder that he intentionally planted there for engagement. And it might say Elon Musk's nudes or so he'll have funny names. And so at least your real friends are reaching out and saying, "Hey man, I don't know what you're into, but, but I got you. Take that video down." But that's him leveraging that engagement. And it's genius. But that's what he's referring to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I basically troll the trolls. And so I had a post the other day too that I said the easiest marketing tactic, and I spelled tactic wrong, to increase your engagement on social media is to make a purposeful error. There's about 20 comments on that post that said tactic is spelled this way. And then I left another comment on that thread. I'm like, you want to see this proven in real time, read the comment section.
They didn't even read the post. They just got to tactic, and that was
100%. So I understand the secret here is to find engagement. You don't have to take it to that extreme, right? Because I weird sense of humor. I am okay with self-deprecating humor. It doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. Maybe it's a coping mechanism to make me feel more comfortable with internet trolls, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it doesn't apply to your corporate job, whatever. Find little Easter eggs. Jaylee, on you in your background there, the hashtag is pretty cool, right? You could put a weird gremlin thing. It's what is that? That causes people to comment on it, right? Or I've told real estate agents they're doing house tours, have somebody dress up in a Bigfoot costume, and as you're showing the beautiful backyard, just have somebody walk from behind a tree to another tree in the Bigfoot
That's
costume.
So good.
Don't even bring it up. Just have it in the background and just wait for the engagement. So find little things that feel comfortable for you to add. It doesn't have to be, spelling errors, mispronunciations, weird folders, but sneak in those little engagement hacks because it's easier to get that negative engagement. It's easier to get that WTF moment. And just by doing that, you will drastically increase your engagement, your views, your comments across the board. And if you're thinking that doesn't help your brand, by making it does. And here's why. The content in the video has to be extremely helpful. So I'm sharing these useful websites, I'm sharing these tips, right? I'm leveraging trolls to increase the engagement, to lift up the valuable content so that it reaches, helps, and inspires more people. And it does convert when you do it that way. And that's the whole strategy and the secret.
That's so good. That is so good. And what I love most about it is you're taking the thing that you're afraid of the most, which is trolls, and you are exerting control. I'm, like you said, I'm trolling you. I'm trolling the trolls. I intentionally placed this here for your reaction. I think that's genius. And I've seen it work for you so well. And I always say it's genius. But what I love is that you're also sharing examples for other industries. Because before this, I had no idea of how could I so now, you know what? You might see something on my bookshelf. I love it. I love that. And I want to kind of just flow into this is a question that I get a lot because I do attract creatives because I'm a creative. And like I was saying before, I didn't know you were just, as creative as you're saying, as in you start other channels and try other things, which is the thing I love the most about you. Like how much you test and try and how you follow your intuition. I'm obsessed. But like you loving hot sauce and starting a channel based on that. Can you share a little bit about that? Because that's something that I struggle with as well. Sometimes I have to reel myself in and remind myself that my business outlet is my business outlet and I
Yeah.
can do other things, but because it's a different audience, I may have to start a different outlet for it. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so these were all separate channels. So I
Right.
separated that individual content. But like everybody goes through phases in life, right? So like I even had like I was really into these steel tongue drums, and I've got a bunch of them back there. So this is like a Rav Vast. This is this
Oh,
beautiful
wow.
sounds. I don't know if it,
Austin, do you know I'm
but
from Trinidad and
it's
Tobago
beautiful.
where that was created? Do you know that?
What's that?
I'm from Trinidad and Tobago and the steel drums
Oh, yes, yes.
were created in Trinidad and Tobago. Did you know that?
I did not know that. So
Yeah.
this one was created in Russia, and it basically took the Trinidad drums and enclosed them. So it's based. So it creates like a deeper sound.
Right.
Very much
Wow.
inspired by the Jamaican Trinidad drums that are like inset with the
Yes.
individual that you hit with the mallet,
Yes.
and then they closed it in, and that's basically the evolution of
Wait,
it.
so what's your drum? Now I'm interested. Sorry. This is my
So this is
ADHD. So,
no problem. I've got two of them. So this is a Rav Vast.
oh, I
This is a
see it now. Okay. I only heard it before. So that's what it was. I was like, wait, that's a steel pan.
yeah, exactly. And then I've got this. I've
Oh,
got this
wow.
little
That's so cool.
this little
Oh,
guy.
wow. That is so cool. I've never seen that. So I'm learning something from you, which I love outside of video marketing.
Yeah, for like 2 3 years, I really like nerded out
Wow.
on these instruments, and so like it led to me like creating content like around
Yeah.
the drum, like learning it and sharing it online and going down that rabbit hole. And then like hot sauce, like I always loved hot sauce, and like you'll be surprised how easy it is to get brand deals with like 100 subscribers in different niches.
In the
Uh,
smaller niches, right? Like
yeah,
the
like I
really
got
specific niches. Wow.
oh my gosh, I got so much free hot sauce, like like too much, like fridge full of hot sauces, with like
Wow.
200 500 subscribers.
Wow.
Um, and so I went down that rabbit hole, and it was just fun. And I joined all these like Facebook groups of
That's so
hot
cool.
sauce lovers, and like watch Hot Ones the show, and like all.
Oh, I love
I,
hot ones.
I go through these phases of like nerdy things, and just try to create content around it and see what works. And it's just an outlet. I don't have as much time for that, so like the hobby channels like don't really exist. Like they're on YouTube, but
Right.
I don't create content for them anymore. I'm like just all in on business stuff.
Which
But
is
yeah,
why I didn't know. I was like, wait, I didn't know this side of Austin. So I just learned something totally new about you. And I'm happy I did. That's super just exciting that, you didn't overthink it. You still did it.
yeah, it's just having fun. Like I mean,
Yeah.
it's my creative outlet. Like I love creating content. I've often said like even if I like I sell companies. I'm a billionaire. Whatever. I'm probably still gonna create content because I
Yeah.
just
Same.
get so much. Like it's not something that I need to do. It's because I love to do it.
Yeah. I love that. Austin, do you have any last words for someone that's listening, that's teetering with the idea of either doing it or being consistent in, getting on camera?
It's not as scary as you think it is. Getting started is the hardest part, but I mean, literally, like equipment is procrastination. Perfection is
Mm,
procrastination. I have about 3 million followers. I reach about 40 million people per month on my phone. I don't record with crazy cameras. I do everything on my phone. Selfie mode. I edit in free apps and I post them all on my phone. So like everybody that's listening to this has a device and has a message that resonates with somebody online. Just press record and rip the band-aid off and get in. Like, so few people are going to watch your early content anyway. And so if you're teetering on the edge, just do it. Give yourself a deadline too. Maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 60 or 90 days, and just try, like, every single day, record a little video. Pick a goal, like maybe it's for your business, maybe it's for your hobby, and just start. And before you know it, you're going to wake up 4 years later and be like, whoa, I've achieved a lot of my dreams.
Now that's some good incentive. Be like Austin, guys. That is beautiful. Austin, I just want to thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. And this conversation was so juicy. I know I'm going to listen to it. I hardly ever listen to my conversations again, but this one is one for the books. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. I'll see you soon, Austin.